Yeah. Let us know, Ben.
I'm the angel, right?
Yes, you are an angel.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, Super Tuesday.
I'm Caroline, and we have Jeff.
That's who I am.
And we're going to do chapters 12 and 13 from Blessings, Gifts, and Deeds. Now, remember that this original book had only 10 chapters, but Joe added 4 more chapters for the second printing and then decided not to print it, but to put it free on his website, which is beatpeace.net. But we're putting it out on YouTube so that people can get it if they want to listen to it in the car or whatever. They don't have to read the book. They don't have to go try to find this copy of this book that is not in print anymore. So, and just to make it easier for people that are learning about the angelics and learning about Joe's work. So that's why we decided to do this, right?
We're stepping it up this week. We're doing miracles at the end of this.
Oh yeah. So here's your if you want to quick grab 2 bottles of water from somewhere. Mine are both from Trader Joe's. We're gonna do an experiment.
2 glasses of water.
Or 2 glasses of water. That's fine too. So we'll give you a few minutes to do that, or if you want to do that when we're done reading, that's fine too. But that's going to be at the end of our chapters today. So, all right, are we ready to start, Jeff?
I'm ready. You're first.
Okay, so I'm going to be the voice of Joe, and Jeff's going to be the voice of Angel Michael. So we're on chapter 12. This was the first gathering, August 1997. My trust in Michael has paid off in as much as I now have the 7 people he said were masters. They come from all over the place, and just like he said, I would find them and have what is going to be called a gathering. We set the date and are going to be meeting in 3 days. It was not easy putting it together because some had other things happening in their lives. 1 or 2 said they couldn't be there for the whole time or would be there for the time they could spare. I told them that it was nice of them to offer to be there at all because this was not an invitation. This was, as I saw it, a command performance of the 7 masters called for by the angel Michael. I found it curious that some of these masters that chose in were so unwilling to do what was needed of them. Some told stories that they would all get to see Michael, as I did. Others said they would be ascended to heaven and speak with God. It was funny, all the things that kept coming up for them. There were a few things that came up for all of them, like all their stuff. Reasons, excuses, and considerations as to why it wouldn't work for them came up over and over. I had, on the other hand, to reassure them everything would be fine. I was entrusted with these 7 masters being at the gathering, but had to leave the choice up to them. At last, the plane tickets were paid for, the place made ready, and in a short time, they would be here for the gathering. There was just one thing missing. Michael didn't tell me what I was supposed to do. It was late, and I decided to go to bed that night. When there was a light in the living room, I knew it must be Michael, and I had many questions to ask about what he wanted done at this gathering. I walked into the living room and was so amazed by this angel. He was beautiful and giving off this deep feeling of love that filled my heart.
Joe, I will speak to you of that which is to come.
I was relieved to hear him say that and waited to hear what he was going to tell me.
The masters are coming to join together. You will serve them. You and they will call themselves master, yet you will not be called master, for you are a servant. They will be held high above you, and you will sit lower than they. The time you teach will bring them to make them ready to receive. For I tell you truly, each is now and will be in the working of their sons. There is conflict within the seven before this gathering and will be after. It is for them to overcome it. You are to do little else but hold the space that they may. The time you have will be for them to become as one. There is a friendship with some that will need to set aside. There is the conflict I spoke of that will come to be. You may not interfere in this. The masters will overcome it or they will not. You will hold your tongue in this.
What you are telling me is they are going to deal with whatever comes up or they won't. Does this mean if they work out their sums there, so to speak, that will be the end of it?
I say they will do what they will at the gathering. They will see that what they do will set the way their gatherings are to be. They will not be made to think they have to gather seven. For I say to you, it is a gift that they may give selflessly. That which they take from their gathering, be it sums or light, will make the way for them. Some may choose not to gather, and some may lose what they have learned before the gathering is done. Others may promise themselves they will gather and will not. Others will bind themselves to that which you give and will falter as time goes by. The choice is theirs as they re-enter their world in the way they know it.
Are you telling me this whole thing may fall apart during the gathering or at any time after it?
I am. The ego is always there to tempt them, as it is the unworthiness. You must stand in love for whatever they choose. Make clear to all you are there for them if they gather or not.
So, Michael, just what is my job here anyway?
Your job is that of a servant. You will give to them their greatness that they may see who they are. The church speaks to the gift of each that they will know their greatness. Then and then alone will you sit with them that they may be called to come forth and receive.
I'm a little lost on what you mean, sit with them and them being called.
I give to you the way you will sit with the masters. You as servant will sit in the east as the church of Philadelphia will sit in the west. Sardis will sit in the south and Laodicea will sit in the north.
I'm not seeing what you are saying. Can you make it clearer so I can understand it?
Look,
He pointed to a space in the air. As he did, I saw round dots of color that related to each of the churches. I could see how the seating arrangement needed to go.
each master will sit as I have given you.
I see two blue dots. Is there a reason for this?
One of the blue places is for you, the servant. The light comes from the east, reflecting on the west. This light is wisdom. Yet I tell you truly, without this light, there is only knowledge in the west. Knowledge without wisdom is but information that is unusable. The gift to the church of Philadelphia is the wisdom from the east.
So basically, what you are saying is without the light from the east, they are just smart and not wise.
This is so. Again, it is so with all churches. Only a servant that is truly in service to the others can bring the light.
Just what makes you think I can do that? I mean, how come given I am a red or Smyrna, I am the one that can get my ego out of the way?
Joe, you have for these past years been in service to the seminars, as well to the people in them. The work you have done has trained you for this time. You know that which service is. You know how to set aside your ego for a higher purpose. You have learned well.
I see your point. I do know how to make it about others and get myself out of the way. I don't think this is all.
There is more you will learn for this gathering. As the masters sit, as I have shown you, one feel will feel called. When this comes to be, you will stand in what I show you now.
Michael showed me another pattern that was different from the one we were all sitting in.
You will stand in front of the one that has been called. You will hold what they reflect back to them, that they may know the wonder they are. The ones that were not called will stand as this. They will hold the space for the one.
Okay, so how long do I need to do this?
You will know, for you will see when the change comes over them. For some it will be powerful, yet for others it will be a gentle breeze. It matters not which you will know. I tell you truly, some may leave in spirit, and it is for this before you bring them to sit with you. You must have from each of them at one at a time their word. When you call them, they will come from where they are. This you must do.
This worries me to think one could go someplace where they don't want to come back from.
Worry not, they will come.
You mean to tell me this is going to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
That which you teach these masters is what you know now. As you grow in knowing, you will teach them that they may teach their masters. That which you give to them now, they are ready for. Yet I say to you that which they teach each other in this time of the first gathering must not be missed.
I don't know how I'm going to remember all this, let alone get it all done.
You are the first of many gatherings to come, and I will be with you. You will use tuning forks to tune each church to what you call their note. You will use oils and music and song that they may know the church they are. You will give blessings to each other, and you will give the blessing you were shown. You will break bread with each other in the time you spend at a gathering. You will burn a colored candle in honor of each according to churches. You will know other things to be done when you are gathering the masters. Our kind will be with you.
I will give it my best shot, Michael. I just hope I am enough to really serve these 7.
You will come from love and service to the masters as the servant you are. This is that which a gathering is made of. Rest for now, you have much to do. Teach only love.
The light started to fold back into itself and took Michael with it until it was gone. He was right about one thing. If I was going to remember any of it, I needed sleep. Off to bed I went to rest up for the weekend gathering. It was the evening before the gathering, and some of the masters that Steve had picked up came over to my house. It was the first time I met Ben in person. He gave me a hug and looked strangely at me. I asked him why he was looking at me in that way, and he just said he thought I would be taller than I was. We all laughed at that because most of the masters were 6 feet, and the best I can do is 5'8". We spent the rest of the time going over the last minute details. The food was already over at Kathleen's house, along with extra bedding for the masters that were going to stay there. We talked about the pattern Michael wanted us to sit in. Steve and Gary said they would make sure the room was ready for us to set the chairs. Saying our good nights, they left for Kathleen's house. I slept pretty well that night because I woke up in the morning refreshed and ready to go. I cleaned up, got dressed, and loaded the music and other things I needed into my car. When I arrived at Kathleen's house, everyone was excited and a little bit worried all at once. No one really knew what was going to happen. All the masters were being overly kind to each other and laughing at the jokes being made. It was a nervous laughter that let me know they were on edge. To help them calm down, I had them help me finish setting up the room we would be using for the weekend. When the room was set and we were ready to go, I called them all together to begin. A gathering is a special time for masters in their own spiritual awareness. Each one had to look deep inside of themselves and answer questions they had been asking themselves all their lives. My job was to create a safe space for them to explore and grow in their giftedness. Let's begin. A gathering is a sacred space created by the vibrational energy of 7 masters and a servant. This energy opens what Michael called the well of souls, making possible the giving and receiving of the breath of God. It is a very powerful, uplifting, and empowering moment that will change each master. It could be compared to rebooting the spiritual DNA within us within us all that connects us to God. The experience of the masters is profound without exception and personal to each unto themselves. It is for this reason what happens at a gathering is confidential. 7 masters were gathered and were now to go out into the world to be servants in their own gathering. The masters they gathered could go out and gather their own 7, and so on and so on. This is exactly what has been happening since that August in 1997. There are now over 1,200 masters gathered. Well, actually, that's chapter 12, but I think there's actually more than 4 or 5,000 now. So, at the time he wrote this, it was 1,200. So, okay, that was chapter 12. We're going to move on to chapter 13.
Yeah, that's a good paragraph, the last one, that you should keep in mind, that when everybody says, "What's a gathering?" And Joe says it in the first one, the easiest, and within a few sentences.
And you want to repeat that? What does he say?
I can't remember. He said it's a quantum experience or something, I don't know, spiritual, but he makes it down. You have to watch the first video.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just send you back to the first interview with Joe, and then you can get that.
All right.
Homework. Everybody likes homework.
There you go. Okay, a miracle.
Chapter 13.
Yep. Oh, okay, chapter 13. That your kind may know that which I have given is of God, I will give a miracle.
Michael said, this was not one of those miracles that the angels or God do so. We can witness it and say, oh, it must be true. What Michael was giving was a miracle that we can perform as children of God. What do you think would happen if you could perform a miracle? Would that change your mind about who you think you are? We all know we are only human, and as that, we have limitations as to what we can do in the world. Out of our humanness, we make mistakes, and depending on how many we make, we judge ourselves. From our judgments, we then decide our worthiness in the sight of God. This is the way religions have taught us to think, because if we really knew the truth about us, we wouldn't need them. The truth is, we are all children of God, just like Jesus said we are. Not only could Jesus do miracles, but also he taught the apostles to perform them. When Jesus asked them why they were not out doing healing work, they told him they were unable to perform miracles. Jesus asked them, why not? Why not? He does them all the time. The apostles went on to tell them he could do them because he was God. In return, Jesus told them they too were gods, and greater works than he did, so shall they do. Jesus either meant what he said or he didn't, and I choose to believe he did. After Jesus left, the apostles went on to heal the sick along with other miracles. Now then, you are a child of God and are really able to perform miracles too. I'm going to teach you as Michael taught me. This miracle has to do with water, but let me give you a little history first. What is it about water? Not much, you say, taking it for granted like so many things in our day-to-day life. We just came out of the age of Pisces, which is a water sign. When God made the world, it was made mostly of water, just like us. When you lose too much water, you die. According to the Bible, God made it. God flooded the earth with it, while Moses turned it into blood and even parted it. While he was in the desert, he drew it from a stone that the people might drink. John baptized with it, and water is still used to this day for baptizing. The men that made a living on the water followed Jesus and became his apostles. Water played a big role in the making of the world we have come to know. We are told to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day to keep our system clean and healthy. When we use it for bathing, we absorb it through our skin. Did you know if you sit in a tub of water for 20 minutes, your body absorbs a whole pint of water? There has been more done to change the face of the earth by water than anything else. From the wet, runny stuff to the ice moving across the land, water cuts rock away and sends things that man has made downstream. Water is used to run mills and make electricity to bring light and heat to our homes. Yes, it looks like we really know how to use water, but do we really know the wonder of water? The water that was given by God is not the water of today. We treat it with chemicals and add everything from fluoride to flavorings. We bombard it with the ultraviolet light to kill the bacteria in it in treatment plants. We pressurize it and force it through pipes to our houses. We chill it as it comes out of our ice box doors for drinking. We make ice to cool our drinks and boil it in hot water heaters for our baths. The truth about water is it is no longer as God gave it to us. Water today does little more than hydrate our bodies. The great gift of water is gone for the most part, and with it, so is our food. The value of the food we are eating will just keep us from starving. Look at all the supplements and additives that are in the food you eat. We are eating better than any time in the history of the world, yet we are getting sicker every year with new diseases of some kind. Excuse me. This is not news to any of you, so why am I bringing it up? You all hear the doom and gloom every day from someone telling you how bad it is. What is different about what I am saying? The answer is very simple because I'm going to tell you what to do about it. You don't need to buy anything, no filter system, no vitamins, enzymes to help you use the food you take in. There was a man about 2,000 years ago that changed water to wine. Excuse me. I am going to teach you in this chapter to do the same thing. You will be able to perform a miracle. You will be able to transform water. You will be able to taste, smell, and feel the difference in the water you work on. I will also teach you how to transform the food you eat. Your food will no longer be just something you put into your mouth to keep from starving. When Angel Michael came to visit me with the other information, he gave me this to teach, saying not to teach it until I did so in an upcoming seminar I was facilitating in Chicago. This is how it went.
Joe,
Michael said,
that your kind may know that which I have given is of God, I will give a miracle. I give you something truly wonderful for your kind.
Great, I said, but before you do, please tell me it is something I will like. That would be nice for a change.
You will like this. I give you the blessing of the water and the food.
Oh, gee, Michael, you're going to tell me how to say grace. That's going to come in real handy come Thanksgiving. I know people become very guilty because they only give thanks once a year. Then again, there are some people that give thanks before each meal.
Joe, this has nothing to do with giving thanks. You think that you say grace, then you give thanks. Your kind ask God to bless the food, thinking it is done. The power to bless food and drink was given to your kind. Your kind has forgotten how to bless the food to make it fit to eat. Your kind has forgotten how to bless the water to make it worthy to drink. This thing you do is but a token of what is given to you. I will teach you to bless water and food to nourish the spirit and enrich the body. You will teach it to others, yet not until you teach it with Joni.
Joannie. I will
Joanne.
be teaching I will be teaching a seminar in Chicago that Joannie is setting up and speaking at with me. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I have other classes, but I will hold off until then. So how does this work?
When you set the supper, what is it you say?
We thank God for the food and ask that it be blessed or something like that.
As you would say, could you be more vague?
All right, Michael, let me think. We say, Heavenly Father, we thank thee for this food that we are about to eat through your bounty. Sometimes we say, Dear God, we ask that you bless this food which we're about to receive. That's pretty much the way it goes. Sometimes we give thanks for the people being there too. Why do you ask?
You need to hear the words you speak.
I spoke the words again and in my head again and again. Okay, Michael, I am seeing something here with the way it goes. It sounds to me like we are laying it all on God for to do for us, as though we didn't have anything to do with it. It is almost like we can't do anything without God doing it for us.
You see the truth in what you say. God is giving to your kind all the wonders of creation, and you use very little. If you truly knew that which is given to you as a child of God, you would not ask God for such pettiness. Your kind comes begging and groveling to God for things that are yours. When Jesus spoke of the birds of the field, he told you this: they sow not, nor do they reap, yet God feeds them. How much more does God love you? Do you not see?
I guess not, Michael. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. As soon as I said that I had a thought, like a light bulb went on in my mind. This is what I see thinking about what you have said so far. God has given us all we need to live and grow in this world. The water and the food we eat were perfect the way they were given. Over the years, we have made it almost worthless. It was our doing. We know we have done this at some level, otherwise, we wouldn't be asking God to fix it.
You do see the truth. Speak what else you see.
According to what you are telling me, we have the power to do it ourselves. God has given that to us.
Yes, Joe, God has done this and more. I will teach you how it is done.
When Michael was done speaking, I was just blown away by what he had said. What he gave me to give to the world was not just a blessing to say, but also the first step in manifesting from nothing. As I looked around the room in the hotel where we held the class, I was really nervous about this. I had not done what I was about to teach, nor had I said what I was about to say. People were filtering back into the room from the lunch break. I had asked many of them to think about saying a blessing at lunch before they left. I wonder how many even said one. I asked someone in the class to pick up a few cases of water in small bottles. When everyone was seated, I started speaking. Pam has gotten water from a discount store, and each of you will need to have 2 bottles for what I'm going to teach you. She paid for them, and it comes to about $1 for 2 bottles. There's a basket on the back table, so please put the money in it for her. The water was passed out to everyone, and I asked them to set them on the floor. When the commotion stopped, I started to teach. How many of you buy organically grown food? I asked. Few hands went up. How many of you buy vitamins and food supplements? Does anyone take enzymes to help break down the food you eat? A whole lot of hands went up on that question. How many of you buy bottled water as your main source of drinking water? It really surprised me as to how many hands went up on this one. It looked like only 2 or 3 people didn't use bottled water as a main source of drinking water. How many of you drink plenty of water every day? I asked. Most of the hands went up. Good, I said. The people in the class looked puzzled at my questions and where I was going with it. I have some good news for you and some bad news for you, I said. The bad news is the food you eat is worthless, other than to keep you from starving. The fresh fruit and vegetables you buy are covered with chemicals and genetically altered, making them nutritionally worthless for the most part. That is to say, you are eating the food on the top of the garbage can. Even if you buy the organically grown food, you are eating a higher vibrational food with more life force in it, but it's still watered with low life force water. There's more bad news. The water you drink is mostly poison that comes out of the tap in most cases. Even the bottled water does little more than hydrate your body. A few people use juicers to get more value out of their vegetables and fruits, which is like liquefying garbage unless it is organic. They were really happy to hear that. People started to talk among themselves and the room filled with a low rumble. I let sink in what I had just told them. The truth is, we are killing ourselves trying to stay alive. We are eating dead and dying food. There's little or no life in it. Now I'm going to tell you the good news. There's something you can do about it. There's nothing you need to buy because you have all you need. You will spend a great deal of time preparing the food you eat, but do little to make it fit to eat. Blessing the food does this, not asking God to do it for you. Remember what I have been teaching you throughout the class. You are a child of God, perfect, whole, and complete. You have the power given you by God to do many things. You just don't remember that or were told otherwise and chose to believe it. When you sit down to eat, hold your hand over the food or under it and say what Michael has told me to tell you to say.
As a child of God, I bless this food that it may nourish my soul and enrich my body.
When you do this, you are bringing the grace from God and filling the food you eat with the life force that God gives. You will have more energy and feel better. Someone said something about you believing it, making it so. You really think believing it has anything to do with it? I said. Let me show you, as a child of God, just how powerful you are. Take one of the bottles of water you set on the floor. It doesn't matter which one you choose because they are all the same. Just pick one of the bottles you want to work with. As they reached for the bottles of water, I was running on faith. I had never done this, and if it didn't work, I would really look like a fool. I looked up to the ceiling thinking, Michael, this better work, like you said. I've trusted you so far. I looked back at the people as I took up one of the bottles of water myself. Hold the bottle in your left hand, I said. They did as I asked. Now, here's what we are going to do. We are going to do what I call water to wine blessing. In order to do this, we are going to need to fill our hearts with grace. Not like grace isn't everywhere in the universe anyway, but we need to consolidate it. You can look at grace as being life force or prana or even chi energy if you want. Focus your attention on the top of your head to where your crown chakra is located. We're going to take 3 deep breaths to fill our lungs. Slowly breathe in air and imagine as you breathe in through your nose, you're also drawing grace down into your crown chakra. As the air fills your lungs, start bringing the grace down through your crown chakra and resting it upon your heart. The more you fill your lungs, the more grace you place on your heart. Once you have your lungs full, start to exhale out slowly, letting go of any doubt or negativity that you may be having. Hold the grace on your heart, and when you have exhaled out all the air, start to take another breath. Slowly, for the second time, breathe in through your nose, and again, bringing the grace down in through your crown chakra and rest it on your heart. When your lungs are as full as you can get them, start to breathe out slowly any negativity or apprehension you may have out with your breath. Take one last breath in slowly, drawing down even more grace to your heart. Keep breathing in more and more air through your nose and drawing grace down, resting it on your heart. Now that your lungs are full, hold the air in for a moment and feel the grace resting on your heart. Then start to exhale slowly again, letting go of any doubt or negativity you may still have. Holding the grace in your heart, when you have exhaled out the negativity, you can start to breathe normally again. When they were done, I said to them to place 3 fingers of the right hand on the bottle they were holding in the left hand. I did the same thing because I wanted to experience this too. Now, feel the grace resting on your heart. As you do this, repeat after me.
As a child of God, I bless this water, that it may nourish my soul and enrich my body.
After you have said the blessing, you can add amen or it is so or whatever you feel is appropriate to close the blessing. Now, push the grace from your heart down your right arm and out of your 3 fingers into the bottle of water. I reflected in my mind about the story of Moses in the Bible when he didn't trust God and tapped the rock twice, overdoing what God told him. So I was the first one to stop running the grace into the bottle of water. Okay, I said, take the bottle and open it. I was so excited and leery at the same time. My fingers fumbled as I twisted off the cap. Slowly, I raised the lip to my bottles. The bottle to my lips. I took a sip and swished it around in my mouth. I swallowed the water and detected a slight hint of a sweet grape taste on my lips. Wow, I thought. I didn't remember having anything sweet to eat at lunch that would produce that taste. Maybe, just maybe, it worked. By this time, everyone else was done tasting the water. I said to them, "Wow, it tastes just like it tastes just like water." The people laughed at my humor. "Now, reach down and pick up the other bottle. Open it, but don't drink it just yet." I wanted time to get mine open before everyone else was finished. I remembered the taste of the water I blessed and wondered what the same water from the unblessed bottle would taste like. I brought the bottle to my lips and took a sip of it. I was in amazement of what had just happened. The unblessed water in the bottle tasted like it had been run through an old garden hose. I could taste the difference. As the people in the class did the same, I could hear remarks coming from them. One person said, "It tastes like it has chemicals in it." Then another person said, "It tastes like it came from an old contaminated well." Someone else said, "It was like drinking out of a rust can." I started doing like the rest of the people were doing, going from one bottle to the next. There was a difference between the two. The hum of the room was getting louder as people shared what had just happened. I watched it for a few more minutes and then brought it to a close by saying, "Everyone, please take your seats. Congratulations, you have just performed your first miracle." Michael told me this is what Jesus did when he changed water to wine. You have to realize something in what I've just said. Jesus was much more practiced in this than we are. The more you do this, the better you will get. And it is more than just blessing water. You can also bless your food by replacing the word water with food. This is the first step for you to manifest and transform from nothing. You're a child of God, made in God's own image and likeness. You're perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are right now. Be at peace and teach only love.
Good. Miracles.
So we'll give you all a few minutes to go get your bottles or your 2 glasses of water from the tap. And meanwhile, he had talked about this story in one of his other books, and it was interesting what had happened with Gary Hardin, or they call him GW, because he only drank a particular brand of water, and so for him, believable. He was like, "How can this be?" Because he was so picky about the water he drank, and then when he did that, he was just absolutely amazed. I thought that was kind of a cool story. So just bringing that in while we're waiting for people to get their water.
Can I tell you, I actually turn it to wine. It starts with wine, but you can do this. No, seriously, you can do it with wine. You can buy that cheap $2 Chuck wine, and after you bless it, it's like a really expensive whatever, if it's a Merlot or whatever you bought. Seriously.
Huh. Never thought of that.
Yeah. I did that for people. I do that for parties now. I hire myself out.
That's funny. So, think we're ready?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to run the festivities? I'll just go along with you.
So I'm going to put one bottle down on the floor, similar to what they said.
Yeah, I got
okay.
mine.
I can run the festivities.
Okay.
So hand on the bottom of the glass.
3 fingers.
Left hand on the bottom. Okay. And then for me, since I do Chinese medicine, I can send energy out of Laogar, which is one thing you can do, or you can do the 3 fingers. That's fine. Either one is fine. So we're going to take a deep breath in through the crown chakra, rest it on the heart, and slowly exhale. Release all negativity. Take another deep breath in through the crown chakra, rest it on the heart. And as you exhale, release any negativity and doubt. Let's take another deep breath in through the crown chakra, rest it on the heart. And exhale, slowly releasing any negativity that might be left. Now you can breathe normally. And when we're ready, Jeff, I'll have you say the words and I'll say them silently.
As a child of God, I bless this water, that it may nourish my soul and enrich my body. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And we send the grace through from our heart, through our arms, into our fingers and into the water. I actually feel my hands vibrating.
Right. You can feel it when it goes in there. You go, whoa, you can feel the energy and it comes back.
And when we're ready,
Moment of truth.
we'll taste it.
No, it is sweet. It's like it's
Mine tastes good.
Yeah, it's like it's lighter, if you can explain lighter water, but it's sweet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna taste the other one.
I got this out of the tap, and I told you, I don't know if I want to.
But you changed the tap water into drinkable water, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So this is the other one. Here we go. Definitely different.
Yeah, like
it doesn't have the sweetness. It's just kind of.
No, it's not slippery. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of just there.
That's how I know when it's blessed water.
I have to go back to the good stuff.
But it's the same way what you're giving it.
Yeah, it's totally different. You know what's funny? One of the masters that I know, Jules, she used to say, when I first started talking to her about the water blessing, she's like, yeah, I go into stores and sometimes I'll just bless this brand of water and then not that one, just to be funny. I thought, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, somebody will get it and say, oh, this water is the best water I've ever drank.
Yeah. She just to screw around, she would. Right. I thought that was kind of cute, but I mean, I laughed.
But so yes, with what he talked about with the food, that's what that does, is give it the life force back, because that's what our water's dead. And our food has been dead, like he explained, and this gives it the life force back. So we have the power to change it. You don't have to worry about, I try to stay away from GMO foods, and I try to get organic as much as I can. I don't want to push the envelope too much, but this will solve your problem.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of want to share a little bit about the water at head of the Sacramento River.
Oh, yeah.
And how we took the water that was coming out of the earth and we blessed it. We rang forks, Shekinah and Metatron forks, and we did that several times. So the water that's coming out of the earth from at the Sacramento headwaters, it's in Shasta.
Oh, Shasta.
Right. That's pretty cool. So you can do that with rivers, streams, lakes, your pool. You can do that with a lot of different things.
Any body of water.
Yeah.
Stick your hands in it and bless it.
And yep, that'll work. Imagine if everybody did that in every body of water they were working in or swimming in or going by.
I think that's why it was given to us, so we could figure it out to do it, that we have the power to clean up the water.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, that takes care of chapter 11 and or 12.
12 and
What was it?
13. We
12 and
only got
13.
one left.
We got chapter 14 left. We'll do that next time. Hopefully we'll have a guest, but we'll work on that. Right. And I just want to say happy birthday, Jeff. I know it's your birthday.
Oh, thank you.
So, all right. Thanks, Ben. I think we're done for today, unless you have anything else you want to add.
Is anybody chatting anything? I didn't check on well, I'm not on that, so I'm on Zoom.
Nope.
No
No.
chats? All right.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks,
Good.
everybody. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Until next time. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.